Hi, this is Charlie giving you Friday's market commentary. I hope you're very well. Just looking at these markets this morning, I've already done a couple of recordings and had to delete them because they've run too long before, and we haven't even done anything yet. The first one I did the recording and we did some live trades on, but they were losing trades, as I can show you here. Had two little trades on cable where I bought with a pretty tight stop in at 79s and 80s, out at 74s, and then the next one we tried it again at similar price levels and out at 73. So two little stop outs there. It was back up here when we did a little five live. We did a little five live test. We had positive momentum on the hourly charts at the moment. I thought I'll tell you a little bit more about what my thinking is there. And then we did a little hammer, so I got stopped out. Then a little hammer, and I thought, okay, we've done a hammer. We'll go in again, see if we can get another try. So that's the two small trades I tried there. As you can see, it's not too much of a loss at the moment. But here's the hourly chart, and we've got this lovely big trend channel in place. And I'm still I'm not entirely convinced that cable is not going to potentially come all the way back up at some point today and go for a breakout of that hourly 50. So that is most certainly at the back of my mind, partly because we're only marginally making new lows on each successive run down. Now the momentum has switched to negative on the time frames, so I'll respect that for now. And so this is what I'm talking about is you can have a view on the market, and so the view on the market is that at the back of my mind I could see the potential for in several hours time that the cable may want to come back up and do that. But in the meantime, obviously the momentum is to the downside, and so I now we'll be looking to trade in that on that side of things. So I'm going to be looking at the 15-minute chart and see if we can put a bit of a rally in here and get up to these prior lows and that sort of zone and see if I can get a trade off there. And then thereafter, if we can get a bit of a trade there, get some points out of that move. Ultimately, I'm looking to see if this is going to actually start to turn and run higher, in which case we'll be looking to try and get on the long side on that. So what's going to be interesting today is going to see how I cope with, I say cope, but how you cope with having losing trades and winning trades, and and potentially more losing trades. We just don't know yet. But how you trade through that, you just have to ensure that you have your overall analysis on the bigger time frames, and then so you have a plan. And so I have a plan of action, like I've just said to you. I'm at the back of my mind. I see the potential for this run back up again, but in the meantime, I'll trade what the markets are telling me, which is on the short side. So until starting to prove otherwise. So sometimes you get these sort of flush moves down, and then the market will just go all the way back up. So we shall see what happens there. But that's what I'm sort of looking out for at the moment on the pound. The euro, and let's have a quick look at let's see if we can find the euro dollar. Euro dollars again had a bit of a pullback, but it's a different shape of price action, as you can see, because the euro's obviously been going up over the last few days. This is the hourly chart now. So the euro, in fact, looks like it potentially may have a bit more downside. Which, if that happens, then that would hopefully correlate with cable anyway. So we'll just have to see. But it's going to be an interesting day, I think, here today, because I've got a bit of conflict between what I'm seeing with euro and what I'm seeing with the pound. So it's really going to be quite fascinating. So just we'll see what happens. I've had Phil here all week, and I did get him to do a little recording, but like I said, we were already 7 minutes into a recording and we hadn't done anything, so I've just scratched that recording. So apologies, Phil, if you do watch it this week or next week. He's been with me all week and just been sat here while I've been trading, and we've had a good week. And so, but he's just headed off now, so he's off to see his daughter for a week. Now, Phil, for many of you know him as Diamond Geezer in our trading room, or as he has been. He lives on the other side of the world nowadays. He lives in New Zealand, and he's over for a few weeks. And so, a lot of you may not know who he is nowadays, but many of you will do. And he's one of the very first students that I taught, actually, and we became firm friends over the years. And so he came over last week for my surprise birthday bash, and obviously to see his daughter as well. So it was a good excuse for him to come over. So so he'll be back in about a week's time, I believe. Right. Okay. So I'll press pause for now, and then we'll see what's going to happen here. Interestingly, I can see the potential for a little bit of a bounce here. Just keep my eye on this market. We've put plenty of volume in down at these lows. And seeing the same sort of thing on the euro dollar. Euro dollar's hit its daily pivot, and big volume coming in there. So we're just going to keep our eye on this, because we may even end up doing a bit of a counter trend move and see how we get on there. But euro dollar's having a lovely move down. Retracement, it's nearly down on its hourly 50, but I'm just trying to keep my eye on this this cable, because cable is not flushing down. You see, euro dollar's coming down. I'll show you the euro dollar chart very quickly. If we look at the euro dollar, it's coming down. Look, on big volume, but cable's just holding up. You see, so that's why I'm interested in cable and just seeing. Okay, well maybe this is. Like I said, back with my original analysis, so I'm just seeing if there's going to be an opportunity to try along with a stop down at the low, so it'll be another low risker. So see if we can do something there. So I'm just watching the euro dollar at the same time, just looking at this slight weakness here and seeing if there will be an opportunity. So another little dip, and we'll see if we can get in. So I'm just press pause for a second. Okay, so see if we can get some in. So as we're coming down, back down to retest these lower bands. So I've got one in there, so see if we can get a couple in. I don't want just one, that's for sure. Oh, well, look like it could just be one, but we'll see if we can. This is coming up, which is all very well, but I've only got one entry in, so it's not obviously ideal. So I'll just see if it can dip back down again. We'll soon see. But otherwise, I'll be looking to the 15-minute band as the target to the upside. So around about just below 60 would be the target for that. So we'll just see. So I'm just going to press pause again, so you just show you the entry, so we can see the entry there. But I want to get a couple more. There it is at 46.6. I've got the entry fill there. But obviously, I want to get some more entries in if I can, if we can come back within this band. So I'll just press pause whilst it's making its mind up what it wants to do. Could take a while. Okay, looks like I might be able to. Oh, it's just gone red again. I'm just waiting to see if I can get those other entries in. Here we go. So there's another one, and there's another one at 45, and another one at 46. Okay, so I've got 4 in. Okay, so I've got the 4 entries in that I really wanted to get in. I'm not going to put any more than that in. So I'll just get the stops sorted out, put them below the low, and we'll just see if this is going to work out or not. If it doesn't, then it's again very tight. So we'll see how it goes. I'll press pause. Well, one thing I forgot there, I've been stopped out, as you can see, and one thing I forgot there was that it shows you how easy it is to make a mistake. I've put that trade in. Of course, I hadn't checked that there was news coming out at 9:30, so that was another little wasted trade there. So there's only another little £500, but that added to the £400 already. Then all of a sudden you're 900 quid down. So it's like I said earlier on. It'd be interesting to see how I can manage the trades today, or trade. And it would be good to show you how I manage my way through the day in light of the fact that you started off with losers. So tried that again. We had big volume there on the euro, and the euro sort of stopped. Let me have a quick look. Euro sort of just sat there for a bit now, and but cable was sitting there, and I was looking at the euro thinking, okay, we've got all this volume in on the euro. Cable's sitting there, it's holding up, and forgot that was probably just holding there because of the very fact that the news was coming out. So it serves me right there. And so it just goes to show you that all traders can make mistakes. So recap on cable. It's obviously had this nice move down. I have to sort of start to once it's come down so far, it is actually progressing quite nicely. So as much as I've sort of saying, well, the way that it was moving, it seems to be holding here and it's not making that bigger new lows, I have to accept that obviously price is coming down. Like I said, I will trade the short side, and I was looking into the 15-minute bands up here, and because that's still being with these lows here, so that still looks like a decent enough level. So we'll see how that trade goes, and if that one then fails, then it's going to be really interesting. But if that fails, that means that price will be coming all the way up, and then we'll be back on with the original analysis. So it's really going to be an interesting day to see how this is going to pan out. So and I do seem to be a bit more interested in cable, because euro is dropping. Like I said, it's sort of in mid-range at the moment, so I have less of an interest in the euro, although like I said, it has had some decent volume in. Let me just show you on the 5-minute chart. Euro dollar, it's had some decent volume in down here, and so it's just sort of sitting around at the moment. It's sort of just straddling its daily pivot, which is sort of up here or so. So it could, with the decent flush down that it's had, maybe it's due a little bit of a bounce. It's had a decent move down here, so we shall see what happens with that. and obviously likewise with the pound as well, and just see how this is going to pan out today. But for now, with the pound, I'm going to be next looking for probably a band play here on the next time frame up, and see if that one can play itself out. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, we've had the decent volume come down here. We've got a divergence between these two lows. The divergence looks good, so I'm going to be looking to go in again to see if we can get a bit of a play back to the upside. See if I can get some entries. Over we go, 31s, to see what we can get down here. 31 again, 31, 31 again. I'm just trying to get the 4 entries in again. It's been down to about 24 or so, so it's been a bit lower. So I'm just seeing if I can get those, see if I can get those entries, and we'll put a stop down at the low 20s, and just see again if we can get a bit of a play to this upside. We've had a lot of stopping volume come in down here. We've got divergence in play, so just seeing if we can get a bit of a run on this. I don't like having to do these counter trends. Oh, it looks like I only got 3 in. I thought I'd hit that 4 times, but it's only given me 3 fills at the moment. I'll see if I can get a 4th one in then if we come back down again. So I don't really like having to do this sort of counter trend trading, but sometimes you look at the market and you think, okay, we've got a nice trend channel in play down here. We've got 21 to be tested yet up here. So let's see if we can get another one in down here. And we've got a divergence in play, stopping volume. So there's enough reasons. The momentum is down, negative across the board. It's not super negative, interestingly enough. So we're just going to see how that plays out. But for now, just going to see if we can, if I can just get that 4th one in, if we can get down to the lower 31s or something like that, and see if we can get a little bit of a bounce there. So let's have a look at that 15-minute 5 live. So we've got reasonable distance up to there, so we'll just see if we can get a bit of a push, and if we come up even up to the 5-minute 5 live, that might even take something off, but we'll just see how this is going to play itself out. So I'll just press pause for now. Okay, so it looks like I might be able to get that 4th entry in, so I'm just looking for that. There we go. Right, okay, so I've got that 4th entry in. It's now just a case of putting my stop down at 20 and for these 4, and just see how this is going to play itself out. 20. So I'll press pause for now. So still sitting in this trade here with these 4 entries, but what I've actually done, I've actually changed my trading plan around this, because I've seen something else in play. We've actually got a triple divergence in play, and so I've actually put a wider stop in with the potential to do a second entry. So we've got those entries in, those 4 clusters together, and a second entry if we were to come a little bit lower, down to maybe daily S2, which is around about 159 into the teens. We'll see if it does do that. But so let me see if I can show you the divergence. There we go. So here's the sort of triple divergence that's in play. I'm seeing it off my e-signal charts, but it's a similar sort of thing. And so we'll just see if we do indeed come down just that little bit more. I just see the price action the way it is overall, that that it looks like we're trying to bottom out, but sometimes the market can come down that little bit lower. Interestingly enough, I just missed my first target here. It came all the way up to 40, as you can see, and I was upstairs, so we were quite nicely into profit up that point, but by the time I then came down, it had already started to then come back a bit, so I just left it. So for now, we're just sort of playing around and still looking for, I'll be looking towards the 21 here, which looks like it's going to be coming back down to where I would have originally wanted to come out. Or take some profit off, but also really looking for that 15-minute 5 live band as well, which is fun enough around about 40 now. So all looks towards about 40 at this stage. We'll just see whether it ends up being a trade where I get more entries lower down, or whether it does come up from here. So we'll see. So it's all pointing towards sort of 40 zone, but just have to see from here. So I'll just press pause for now. Okay, so I've put it onto a 15-minute chart here. So obviously I'll be looking to take the profits when we get up to around that 15-minute 5 live, and then I will be looking to reverse. So it's going to be an interesting one in that respect. So just see if we can come straight up to that 5 live band, or if we're going to come back down and retest the lower side first. It depends on which way we're going to go at this point. Very often price will come into the band. Sometimes it will go straight up to the upper band, and other times it will come down first. So which is just a case of seeing where we get to. So it looks like it's about 3 or 4 pips away. So I'll press pause for now. So it's now 11 o'clock, coming up to 11 o'clock, and just having a look at this. We're still not doing anything here on cable, so just going to see how that pans out. Looks like there was a. I've not been in here much. I've been looking after Rachel because she's not well this week, and but it looks like there was a bit of a really nice divergence on euro into, which was between these two lows, into its hourly 50. So it's hit the hourly 50 down here. Well, it's hit it on e-signal, and it's having a lovely bounce. So maybe I missed something there, but nothing really I can do about that. So I've not been around. So just wait and see how this is going to play itself out. And ultimately, if we can start coming up, then I will start looking. So I won't take everything off. What I'll do is I'll take half off if we can get up to the band, and then I'll put a short in. So it looks like we're getting close now. Then I'll put a short in. So we'll see if we can get as we come up towards the band. I'll take half off, then put a short in for the remaining two, so I'll effectively be hedged. But ultimately, then just see if we can get a little bit of a pullback, and then see if ultimately we can go higher. So we'll just see how that's going to pan itself out. But I'll press pause for now. But you can see that I'm very close to taking. Oh, hold on a second, very close to taking. So if we can get up to about 40 on here, then I'll take two of those off. No, it's not going to do it while now I'm ready, is it? Okay, I'll press pause for a second, but you can see what I'm about to do. Okay, so I'm just taking that half off now, just as we're coming in. There we go, hitting the 40. So just got half off there, and that's a good start. So let's just make sure that I've got everything going on over on the other one as well. So okay, so I'm just giving it a little bit of slack here, and right, so what I will do is obviously I'll move my stop up to the lows now. So if it was to come down, then I'll just have to accept that that's what's going to happen. So, but what I'd like to do is to see if this is going to ultimately roll. So anyway, so let's get a short in. Sorry, if it's ultimately going to go higher. My apologies. So I've now put a short in. So I'm not completely hedged because obviously I've got two on the long side and one on the short side. So I'm just going to see if this one on the short side, if it does react a little bit from this band. The way it's come into the band, it doesn't have to. So I'll give it a little bit of slack, and if it doesn't, if it comes up to about 40 into the mid to late 40s, then I'll cut this. Just give it a little bit of slack and see if it can do anything. I'll press pause just for a minute. What was the entry? It was a 42.2 at 43.4. So I'll press pause for a sec. So on this little short here, I'm just going to, this is only a little hedge short, so it doesn't make it really matter too much because I'm in those longs. It's just a case of seeing if we have a little retrace here. So I've just taken it to the 5-minute chart. If we do a little retrace down towards my little 8-period moving average, then I'll cut that. So we're just going to see. But if we start to poke up, then I'll come out very quickly if we get to about 45, and I'll just shut it for about 3 pips loss. So we'll just see. I'll press pause again. So we're just coming down, just looking for that towards the 8. So we'll just take the profit off of that little position. If we can just a little bit, well, we've got to 39, so we'll see if we can get back down there. It's very close. Was it 11:08 a.m.? So because I'm having to guess, I have to judge where this 8's going to be as that's moving forward. So we'll see if we can get just a little bit lower. It's only a tiny amount of pips in it really, but it's just a little bit of. It didn't matter with this because it's a hedge anyway. But we'll just see if we can get down to sub 39 and or around about 39 on the exactly. And nope, it's not having it. Right, okay, it got close. I'll press pause again. See what I mean? As the new time frame comes in, then that 8 comes up that bit further anyway. I suspect that we're on the outside of the band, that maybe it may not come in just yet. So I'll be ready to cut this at 45 if it gets up to 45. Otherwise, again, if it can just come down, nick that few pips down, then I'll take the whatever profit that gives me. If it does come down, so I'll just press pause again. It's gonna be a long recording. Okay, we're just coming back down into the 39s again. By the time I hit the record button, it's just split back up to 40s again. So. God, yeah, I'm trying to do it whilst recording it, but every time I press record, it moves again. So let's press pause. Okay, it looks like it's going to come up there, so I'll be ready to cut this. I haven't put the stop in. I'm just going to manually execute if it does quickly blip up to that 45 area. $44.2, which is effectively 45. It's just about to breach those highs. If I see for anything more than where we currently are, then I'll just cut that. Come on, which way are you going to go? It's playing around with me every time I press record. I'll press pause and I'll just execute whilst I'm not whilst we're paused. It's wasting too much. Okay, so it did go up, so it cost me whatever it cost me on that trade, but obviously we still got the original positions, so they're still going up obviously quite nicely at the moment. So let's go back to this overall trade. So we've got the original trade that was in this morning, the couple of stop outs there. Then I executed a trade over here, which was a proper mistake. Putting an execution in 2 minutes, I think it must have been before the 9:30 this morning. So that was a proper mistake. Reading the market, thinking, this looks all right. Euro was bouncing, or it had stopped as well. Big volume on euro at that point. Let's just take it to the euro, just as a recap. At that point, look, this is where euro was, and so I'm looking at cable thinking, right, okay, euro's just put that big volume in, it's making a low there, and then cable then went whoosh. So anyway, that was a mistake. These two, okay, I was just trying it on a little bit, but fair enough. And then we've got in down here on the divergence, wasn't it? So the divergence between this low here and this low here. And then we potentially set up for a triple divergence. If we'd have rolled over lower, I would have then built the position a bit more, because I have to go with my original analysis. I don't have to go with my original analysis, because you always have to be prepared to be wrong, and I still could well be wrong yet on this overall trade assumption. But my original analysis, if you remember earlier this morning, it seems like a long time ago, was this hourly 50, and I was looking for price. I wasn't expecting price to flush down quite as far as it did, but we've put a lot of reversal candles down here. This is the hourly chart, dojis and hammer, and here's lots of hammers and dojis on the 30-minute chart. There's still a lot of probably backing and filling to be done if it wants to do that, but what I'm going to try and do with this trade is at least try not to take another, or I'm not going to take another position off until we get up to these lows. So that's in the 50s or 60s. I'll check that just off screen in a second, and then try to run the remainder back up to that hourly 50, and then maybe start to look for more longs. Obviously, if this overall this does pan out that way, then maybe later this afternoon. So this recording could go all day potentially, because it could take all day for it to get up there, and we could end up really on the long side with more trades later on this afternoon. So let's have a recap and see where we are so far. So we were down 900 odd pounds, and as it currently stands, I'm down 500. Obviously, if it rolls back over and stops me up, then I'll be back down to over 1,000 down for the day, and that has to be the way it is. But we'll just have to see how this is all going to pan out as we go through the day. But if we do start coming up more, then we'll get to a point where I'll be looking to establish new long positions. So it could be an interesting day if my analysis does play out. So we shall see. But you've seen a mixture of everything this morning. You've seen me trying to be aggressive this morning and getting stopped out on two little trades there, amounted to £400 down. And then, sorry, I wasn't recording that. I was recording them, but I stopped the recording because we'd already be on about 45 minutes at the moment, if that was the case. Anyway, so I had those two early trades. They were aggressive, but that served me right. And then it served me right for not being attentive to the news and the fact that there was news coming out on cable and taking that other trade. Anyway, so it's good, because you have to realise that all traders are human beings, and we all are. I know you see, most weeks you see me profitable, but it's good for you to see me having potentially a losing day, but certainly losing trades, and seeing how I manage those as I trade through the day. So we're just going to see how this is going to pan out. It could take a very long time, but for now I'm going to press pause. I'm going to move my stops up below the lows, and we're just going to have to see how this is going to play itself out as we go through the day. But I'll try and stay a little bit more sparse on the commentary, because I know we're 24 minutes in currently, and potentially there could be another 20 minutes of recording time yet. So I'll press pause. Okay, so finally it's now 1 o'clock, and I have been stopped out. We had that nice bounce up, and For a while there, I was thinking, oh, this is looking quite good, and we'll look to add new positions as we go higher, and maybe ultimately I could still be right about what the market, what the cable's ultimately trying to do is trying to put in these work out a low, a bottom, but it may have just done a divergence on a 15-minute time frame. So maybe ultimately I'm right, but the same thing. There's all very well being right. And there is a divergence on a 15-minute chart, but you also have to accept when to just get out of a market. So for now, I've just left that. So anyway, back to it. So yeah, it has brought me back down to 1,000. We were at minus 500, so it's brought me to 1,000 down for the day. And so it's now just a case of seeing where I go to from here. It's only 1 o'clock, and I'll see if there are any future trades as we go through the afternoon, and see what sets up. Obviously, I've been concentrating on the pound there. Let's go and have a look at some of these other markets, and maybe there'll be something else set up as we go through the afternoon. So certainly be having a look at that. Euro's had a lovely move down here, so keep my eye on that as well. So I shall press pause for now, and I'll come back as and when there may be a trade. I'm just looking at this, and I'm going to see how we close on a 15-minute chart, because we've got big divergences in place here on the cable, and I've played divergences here, made a little bit of money, given it back on the remaining stops, but we've come into the S2 pivot. We've had a huge volume coming in down here. I can't get away from how I feel about the market here today. So for cable, that is. So I'm going to see. Sorry, I need to make it smaller for you. Sorry. I'm going to see just how we close in the coming minutes, and see and may actually get some more another counter trend in it. It's just one of those things that I'd like to just have to go with it if that's going to be the case. I mean, but a look at Euro, and Euro looks, as you can see, pretty weak at the moment. There may actually be a 5 live short on, so we'll look at that as well. We'll play a couple of different plays potentially. So I'm looking at a 5 live short for Euro, and potentially still a long for cable. If cable on the 15-minute chart puts in a sort of reversal candle, then I'll certainly be looking at that again to see if this is just a final flush out there. We'll see. So I'll press pause for now. So I'm looking for this 5 live short, this short on the euro dollar. So here it comes. It's coming in very close, not quite yet. Just waiting for it to hit that band there, that white line. And when it hits that, then I'm going to be hitting the button. Not quite. Very close. Just waiting for. It's getting a little bit volatile here. So I don't know. Hopefully we haven't got any news out. I haven't checked again. Guys in the room, have we got any news out? 1:30. Sorry for you. I'm doing this recording. I'm also talking to our chaps and chapesses in the trading room, as it is now 20 past 1. It's just held off a little bit there. Spiked up a little bit. Got within about a pip or two of that band. Not quite there. We'll see if it comes back. I'll press pause for now. Okay, so missed out on that euro. In the euro just got within about a pip or so. Let's have another look at that. So let's change the chart. So got within a pip or so, and then it tucked back down. So just missed that by a smidgen there. And I'm coming back to the pound dollar, because I'm just keeping my eye on that. We've got very little negative momentum on the 15-minute chart, and I'm still seeing divergences and reversal type candles. It's just a possibility that maybe something will come in there. I'm still holding that overall view. At some point, you have to be accept that you're wrong. But if you keep on getting these signs coming in, then then you have to then still take some sort of view. So I'm still keeping an eye on it, and it's possible that I may still trade cable again to the long side yet, which is just a funny day. And sometimes you get days like that where you take a view, and you can get stopped out a couple of times or so, and you have to, if you're sticking to your plan, if you have a plan and nothing's changed. And what I mean by that, obviously the market still came down there, so I was wrong on essentially on those entries, even though that one was a nice little runner, but I was trying to run it for a lot more, and that's why it stopped me out in the remaining half. But you have to still have a plan, and if the market's not changed, if it's still doing things which are sort of saying to you, well, actually this could still doesn't go in the direction that I'm looking for, then you have to listen to that. And so even if it could stop me out again, I'll give it another go. But so we'll see. We're just waiting. It's 1:27. We got news coming out. No, we haven't. We've got nothing coming out at 1:30. So just looking to see how the candle's going to behave here, and see how we close as we come into the end of this this period as we go into 1:30, and then I'm going to start to take a view. So I'll just press pause for now. Okay, so just back here. So I'm going to give this one last shot. We've got divergences in, so I'm just going to get some trades in if I can get them in, and let's have a look here, see if I can get something going here, and build a final position. And I mean, if it works out, then it'll be a really big runner. That's what I'm looking to try and do. That's what I've been trying to do today, is try and get that big run going. But we're still gonna have to see. So just trying to get these entries in now. So I've got 2 in so far here. Just trying to build this get a couple more in if I can, and let's get another one in there. There we go. Right, so I've got 4 in. We'll see how it goes from here for now, and take it from there. So we've got this divergences in. We've hit the daily 200. There's lots of things we've done here, down here. But again, I'm counter trend trading overall. So it's my risk to try that today. But I'm just not convinced. And maybe I will be convinced if cable has another shove lower. But at the moment, that's how I'm feeling. And so I'm looking at the huge volume that's coming at these lows. The fact that we've just come back within these bands. We've got it's just the case of whether we've got divergences in play. We've got reversal candles on some of these higher time frames. So it's just a case of whether this is going to play. It's going to play for me, or it's not. So and if it's not, then it'll be over relatively quickly, I guess. So I'll press pause for a second. Okay, so I'll just get my stops put in place there. So I've put them down there at 05. So I'm getting a little bit of wiggle room, just in case, even on the 5-minute chart there. But sometimes when the market's trying to work out a bottom, it will make marginal new lows. Which, let's have a look at this chart here. That it's making marginal new lows, and so that's what it's doing so far. And it's been replicated to an extent on the 4-hour chart. Let's go back out to that 4-hour chart again, and mind you, looking at the 4-hour chart now, we are certainly making new lows here, aren't we? They were marginal over the last couple of weeks or so, week or two, and it looks like it's a bit better now. But I'm still just coming back to that hourly 50, and we're just going to have to see whether that's going to work or not. So it's this is the last go, which probably. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. So I'll press pause for now. We're on 32 minutes into this recording. I don't want it to run for too long, but it's going to be running well over 40 minutes. But I'm really, if this does start to run, really want to try and get some runners with part of this position. So we'll see how it goes. Right, finally I'm finishing off this video. It's now 10 to 3 in the afternoon. We've got stopped out. I've got stopped out again. That's about 5 or 6 stop outs today, unfortunately. Although one of them was a more or less break even when I had the run up here, and then it stopped me out at break even. Then I've had this final one down over here. So it was 2 this morning, 3 here, 4, 5. Sorry, so that's 5 stop outs. So like one I took half profit and then got stopped out in the remainder for a marginal loss. But 5 stop outs in total. So, and that's the thing. I just took that view today, and for whatever reason, my view's wrong. I've been on the wrong side of the market, even though there's been divergence after divergence. I don't often play that many divergences, but it's just the way I had a more holistic, more of a macro view on cable, and it's just not panned out today. So I'll bring over the account because you can see my loss. So I've always said that I can always have up to 2,000 loss in a day. I'll allow myself, but so it's a nice, decent loss there. But the thing is, that's 5 losers to get me to that. So I could have just stopped at 3, but I'm happy to go up to that. That's okay for these updates. And the important thing is on your winning trades. So I've had 5 losers, so it's an average of about £400 per losing trade. So if on your winning trades you're averaging, on average, £400 there or thereabouts, and some of them will obviously be more. Which then, if I was trading like that of this size, this position size all week long, then it's not too. It doesn't take much to make up for 5 losers. So not at all. So that's the main thing. The important thing is, well, one thing is to have a plan, and I've had a plan all day. I've just been wrong in my plan today, but the main thing is that when you do have winners and losers, when you do have your winners, you must try, and like you always see me trying to at least run for enough points. You must try to ensure that your average winner and your average loser, as far as losing trades are concerned, are at least around about 1-to-1. If you keep on snatching your profits on your winning trades, or your winning trades are such small positions, and you have small positions, it's on your winning trades, and big ones on your losing trades, you're never really going to get anywhere. So you must ensure that you run your trades, your winners, enough in order to compensate for those losers, and that's what I do. So, and that's why it doesn't. Obviously, I don't want to have a £2,000 losing day on a weekly update Friday, but I think it's really good to be able to demonstrate. And I've always said I'd like, in a way, in a ironic, horrible kind of way, I'd like to demonstrate one day having a full losing day, which I've never had on these updates, and I've been doing these for a year now. When I've been doing these live trades, so I'm quite pleased I've had that. But it just comes back to the basics, that if your winners are averaging X, your losers are averaging Y. If they're there or thereabouts the same, at least 1-to-1, and if you can get a little bit more out of your winners on top of that, then you'll be fine. You'll be making money overall. So yes, you'll have those days where you may just have a few losers or whatever. But providing that's the case, you'll be all right, and that's the most important thing. But just remember that. Run your winners a little bit more. Get those extra couple of pits out of them, and they'll compensate for your losers. Have a wonderful snowy weekend, and we'll be back in touch next week.